Right now, you're wearing clothes, maybe a shirt, maybe something warmer. You didn't think twice about putting it on this morning, but the real answer for why you did that is far stranger than it's cold outside. Your ancestors didn't start covering their bodies to stay warm. Not at first. The truth took scientists decades to piece together. And it starts, strangely enough, with lice. Around 7 million years ago, your earliest ancestors were covered in thick body hair, just like every other primate alive today. Chimpanzees have it. Gorillas have it. So did the creatures that would eventually become you. Then something happened. Somewhere between 1 and 3 million years ago, humans lost almost all of that hair. Not gradually thinned it out. Lost it. Nearly every square inch of visible fur gone, except for a few patches that remained. Why would evolution do that? Losing your fur in the middle of the African savanna sounds like a death sentence. No protection from the sun, no insulation at night, and yet it happened and it stuck. The leading explanation comes down to sweat. Dr. Nina Jablonski, a biological anthropologist at Penn State, has spent years studying skin and its evolution. Her research points to a simple survival advantage. Early humans were becoming persistence hunters. They chased prey for hours, sometimes for an entire day, until the animal collapsed from heat exhaustion. Fur traps heat. Bare, sweat-covered skin releases it. The humans who could shed fur could run longer, hunt more successfully, and survive better than the ones who couldn't. So your ancestors became naked, sweaty, efficient hunting machines. But naked skin creates a new problem. What happens when the sun goes down? What happens when the world gets cold? This is where clothing enters the story, and this is where it gets strange. For a long time, the researchers assumed early humans started wearing animal skins as soon as they lost their fur. Somewhere around 2 million years ago, it seemed logical. Lose the fur, replace it with something else. But the archaeological record didn't support that timeline. Stone tools capable of scraping and preparing hides don't show up until much, much later. So how did scientists figure out when clothing actually began? They went back to the lice. Humans carry two separate species of lice: head lice, which live in your hair, and body lice, which live in clothing and only move to skin to feed. Body lice cannot survive without fabric to nest in. They evolved specifically to live in the fibers of worn clothing, which means the moment body lice split off as their own species is roughly the moment humans started wearing something. Regularly enough for a parasite to specialize in it. In 2003, a team led by biologist Mark Stoneking used genetic analysis to calculate when human body lice diverged from head lice. Their answer was somewhere between 70,000 and 170,000 years ago. Not 2 million years ago. Barely a blink in evolutionary time. Think about what that means. Your ancestors walked around naked, bare skin exposed to sun, cold, insects, and thorns for well over 1 million years after losing their fur. Clothing wasn't the immediate fix everyone assumed. It came shockingly late. So what changed around 100,000 years ago? Ice. The planet was sliding into a series of brutal glacial periods. Africa, where early humans had evolved, still got cold at night, especially at higher elevations. And as small groups of humans began pushing north, out of Africa and into Europe and Asia, they walked straight into environments their bodies were never built for. A hairless primate adapted for shedding heat on the savanna is in serious trouble in an ice age tundra. Clothing wasn't a fashion choice. It was the only thing standing between your ancestors and freezing to death. Here's the part that surprises most people. The earliest clothing almost certainly wasn't sewn or fitted or tailored in any real sense. It was likely draped. Animal hides thrown over the shoulders, tied with sinew or plant fiber, wrapped around the body the way you might wrap a towel. Crude. Functional. Barely engineered at all. That changed with a single invention: the needle. In 2016, archaeologists working in a Siberian cave called Denisova uncovered a bone needle dating back roughly 50,000 years, one of the oldest ever found. A needle means something huge. It means humans weren't just draping skins anymore. They were piercing them, threading them, fitting them tightly to the body. Tight-fitting clothing traps warm air against the skin far more effectively than a loose hide ever could. Some researchers, including archaeologist Ian Gilligan, have argued that this shift to tailored, fitted clothing was one of the key technologies that allowed humans to survive and spread into the coldest parts of Ice Age Eurasia. Without it, Siberia, Scandinavia, and eventually the Arctic simply weren't survivable. So clothing didn't just keep your ancestors warm. It opened the door to the entire planet. But something else happened once humans started wearing clothes regularly. Something that had nothing to do with temperature. Clothing became information. The moment fabric and hide became part of daily life, they stopped being purely functional.